ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهاد المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمات. اللهم صل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين وأيده بروح القدوس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعل الداعي إلى كتابه والقائم بدينك استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له أبدله من بعد خوفي أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعذه وأعذذ به وانصره وانتصر به وانصره نصرا عزيزا وافتح له فتحا يسيرا واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم اظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى وطاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا وشب به صدعنا وارتق به فدقنا وكثر به غلتنا وأعذذ به ذلتنا وأغني به عائلنا واقضي به عن مغرمنا واجبر به فقرنا وسد به خلتنا ويسر به يسرنا وبيض به وجوهنا وفك به أسرنا وأنجه به طلبتنا وأنجز به مواعيدنا واستجب به دعوتنا وآتنا به سؤلنا وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة أمالنا وآتنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشفي به صدورنا وأذهب به غيظ وقلوبنا وأهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إلى الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا. فصل على محمد وآل محمد وأعنا على ذلك بفتح منك وتعجل وبذر تكشف ونصر تعذ والسلطان حق تظهر ورحمة منك تجللناها وعافية منك تلبسنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. الله.
We are getting ready for Amaal. You will need a copy of a Quran for Amaal. So please go and grab a copy of Amaal. You have to be in the state of wuzu because you will be praying Salat also for the night of Shab-e-Qadr. Although you will be doing it individually. ما ये قرآنی هم لازم داریم و هم در حالت وضو باید باشیم که نماز هم میخونیم و اعمال کوتاه داریم شروع میکنیم. من 2 دقیقه میدم که شما آماده باشید. اللهم إني بك ومنك أطلب حاجتي ومن طلب حاجة إلى الناس فإني لا أطلب حاجتي إلا منك وحدك لا شريك لك وأسألك بفضلك ورضوانك أن تصلي على محمد وأهل بيته وأن تجعل لي في عامي هذا إلى بيتك الحرام سبيلا حجة مبرورا متقبلة زاكية خالصة لك تقر بها عيني وترفع بها درجتي وترزقني أن أغص بصري وأن أحفظ فرجي وأكف بها عن جميع محارمك حتى لا يكون شيء آثر عندي من طاعتك وخشيتك والعمل بما أحببت ولترك لما كرهت ونهيت عن واجعل ذلك في يسر ويسار وعافية وما أنعمت به علي وأسألك أن تجعل وفاتي قتلا في سبيلك تحت رعاية نبيك مع أوليائك وأسألك أن تقتل بي أعدائك وأعداء رسولك وأسألك أن تقتل عهد من أوليائك اللهم اجعل لي مع الرسول سبيلا حسبي الله ما شاء الله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجا. So now we start the Amaal of the night of Qadr. We start by reciting 2 rakat Salat with the niyyah of the night of Qadr. I'm reciting 2 rakat Salat for the night of Qadr, Qurbatan ilallah. And you will recite the Salat individually. And after Surah Hamd, if possible, you can recite 70 times Surah Tawheed, Qul Huwallahu Ahad in every rakat. Otherwise, even just if you pray like Salatul Fajr, that would be fine. So 2 rakat Salat of the night of Shab-e-Qadr, after Surah Hamd, Surah Tawheed in both rakat. Please complete and then we start the Amal as we move forward, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. 2 rakat namaze Shab-e-Qadr niyat kunid wa بعد از سوره حمد سوره توحید سوره اخلاص تلاوت کنید و این نماز را تمامش کنید 2 رکعت نماز شب قدر 2 رکعت نماز شب قدر کی نیت کیجیے سورہ حمد کے بعد سورہ قل هو اللہ احد دونوں رکعتوں میں پڑھیے اور 2 رکعت نماز تمام کیجیے. Tonight is the night of Shab-e-Qadr, also the night of the martyrdom of Amirul Mu'mineen. Allah would accept our Amaal and du'as in this night, especially our loved ones who have passed away from this world. They need our du'as so that Allah can elevate their maqam and their station. Please recite a Surah Fatiha for all of your marhumeen, especially Shuhada Islam who have recently fallen by the aggression of the shayateen and the shuhada, the unknown shuhada of Afghanistan, Iran, Lebanon, and also a brother whose uncle passed away from our community. Um, the marhum's name is Yahya Muhammad Ali Pradhan. Please cite us Surah Fatiha. Yahya Muhammad Ali Pradhan. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are starting the zikr of this Amaal, which is istighfar, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilay. I plead for forgiveness to Allah and turn to Him penitently. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa astaghfirullah wa atubu ilay. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilay. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilay. Astaghfirullah أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه 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 أستغفر الله
أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه 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 أستغفر الله
وأتوب إليه
أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه أتوب إليه أستغفر الله وأتوب 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 إليك 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 Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. 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 Astaghfirullah wa
أتوب إليه أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه
Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayk.
أستغفر
Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayk. 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 Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayk.
أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه اللهم صل على. Now you guys can go back, take Quran with you. Now the amal is for Quran. You have to hold Quran, open the Holy Quran and place it in front of yourself. قرآن کو کھولیے اور اپنے سامنے رکھیے. قرآن کا پارا بھی کافی ہے. قرآن کو کھولیے اور اپنے قرآن را باز کنید و جلوی شما بگذارید و همین دعا را با هم بخونیم. Let us recite the dua, all of us together. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك بكتابك المنزل وما وفيه اسمك الأكبر وأسماؤك الحسنى وما يخاف ويرجى أن تجعلني من أتقائك من النار. Now place the Quran on your head. Place the Quran on your head. قرآن در سر خودتون را بذارید. قرآن سر پہ رکھیے اور ساتھ پڑھیے. اللهم بحق هذا القرآن وبحق من أرسلته به وبحق كل مؤمن مدحته فيه وبحقك عليهم فلا أحد أعرف بحقك منك بك يا الله بك يا بك يا بك يا الله بك يا الله بك بك يا الله بك يا الله بك يا الله بك يا الله بمحمد 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 بعلي 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 بفاطمة 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 بالحسن 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 بالحسين 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 بعلي بن الحسين 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 بمحمد بن علي 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 بجعفر بن محمد 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 بجعفر بن بجعفر بن محمد بجعفر بن محمد بجعفر بن محمد بجعفر بن محمد بموسى بن جعفر 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 بعلي بن موسى 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 بمحمد بن علي بمحمد بن علي بمحمد بن بمحمد بن علي 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 بعلي بن محمد بعلي بن محمد بعلي بن محمد بعلي بن بعلي بن محمد بعلي بن محمد بعلي بن بعلي بن محمد بعلي بن محمد بعلي بن محمد بالحسن بن علي بالحسن بن علي بالحسن بن علي بالحسن بن بالحسن بن علي 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 بالحجة 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 صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أمسيت لك عبدا ذاكرا لا أملك لنفسي نفعا ولا ضرا ولا أصرف عنها سوءا أشهد بذلك على نفسي وأعترف لك بضعف قوتي وقلة هيلتي فصل على محمد وآل محمد وأنجز لي ما في وعدتني وجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات من المغفرة في هذه الليلة وأتمم علي ما آتيتني فإني عبدك المسكين المستكين الضعيف الفقير المحين. اللهم لا تجعلني ناسيا لذكرك فيما أوليتني ولا لإحسانك فيما آتيتني ولا آيسا من عجابتك وإن أبتعت عني في السراء أو ضراء أو شدة أو رقاء أو عافية أو بلاء أو بعث أو نعمة إنك سميع الدعاء. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى اللهم صل على محمد وعلى. One more zikr is the lan upon the assassins of Maula Amirul Mu'mineen. We will be doing this 100 times. اللهم لان قتلة أمير المؤمنين اللهم لان قتلة أمير المؤمنين اللهم لان قتلة أمير المؤمنين اللهم أمير المؤمنين اللهم لان قتلة 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 اللهم لان قتلة أمير المؤمنين اللهم لان قتلة أمير المؤمنين اللهم لان قتلة أمير اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين. 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 اللهم لعن قتلة اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين. 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 اللهم لعن قتلة أمير اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين. اللهم لعن قتلة أمير اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين. اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين. اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين. اللهم لعن قتلة أمير اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين. 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 اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين 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 صل على محمد. Can you move a page further? Yeah, this one, yes. Let us recite this dua. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. اللهم عجل فيما تقضي وتقدر من الأمر المحتوم وفيما تفرق من الأمر الحكيم في ليلة القدر وفي القضاء الذي لا يرد ولا يبدل أن تكتبني من حجات بيتك الحرام المبرور حجهم المشكور سعيهم المغفور ذنوبهم المكفر عنهم سيئاتهم واجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر أن تطيل عمري وتوسع علي في رزقي وتفعل بي كذا وكذا. Meaning here you have to make your hajat. Please make your hajat. Mu'mineen need our du'as, especially in Lebanon and in Iran. Mu'mineen need our du'as to drive away the makr and the oppression and the tyranny of kuffar. Pray for them, pray for the ta'jeel of the zahur of the imam, pray for the souls of the shuhada, pray for our marhumeen, and ask Allah for the fulfillment of our hajat. This concludes the Amaal except for Ziyarat Imam Hussain. So we will keep the Ziyarat Imam Hussain for the end of the Majlis. And inshallah, we are going into the next segment of our program of the Azadari of Maulana Muwahhideen, Imamul Muttaqeen, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Because tomorrow is weekday, we will try to do our best to execute the program in time, and we need your cooperation. And definitely some quietness in the hall will definitely be appreciated, both from men's side and the women's side, so that we can do Azah of Amir al-Mu'mineen and extend our condolences to the Imam of our time. Any brother who has manqibat, salam, share, you would like to recite, keep it short so that we can quickly do the program. But feel free to come and recite the share in any language. Agha Karbalai Kujaz? Agha Mujaz?
عليك يا مظلوم السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفنائك. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. دیگر امشب علی راحت از غم شود، خانه مرتضی غرق ماتم شود. می رود حیدر به سوی عقبی، در جنان گردد همدم زهرا. یا علی مظلوم، یا علی مظلوم، یا علی مظلوم، یا علی. زهر شمشیر کن، زهر شمشیر کن، پیکرش آب کرد. هر دعای علی می شود مستجاب. زهر شمشیر کن، پیکرش کرده آب. هر دعای علی می شود مستجاب. زهرا اثر کرد، حیدر زمین گیر است. دست هر طفل کاسه شیر است. یا علی مظلوم، یا everyone، یا علی مظلوم، یا علی. مسجد کوفه شد از چه امشب خموش. پیکر مرتضی می رود روی دوش. مجتبی گرید از غم حیدر. زینب کبرا میزند بر سر یا علی مظلوم یا علی مظلوم یا شهر کوفه دیگر به علی به صفاست مرد عالم علی مهمان خداست غربت و غم را می کنن احساس گلثوم و زینب و عباس یا علی یا علی یا علی مظلوم یا علی زن مصیبت همه گشته در شورشین در کنار بدن ریزد اشک حسین این سخن گوید با دل سوزان چه کنم بابا زن غم هجران یا علی مظلوم یا مسجد کوفه شد از چه امشب خموش پیکر مرتضی می رود روی دوش مجتبی گرید از غم حیدر زینب کبرا میزند بر سر یا علی مظلوم یا شهر کوفه دیگر بی علی بی صفاست مرد عالم علی مهمان خداست غربت و غم را می کنن احساس کلثوم و زینب و عباس یا علی مظلوم یا بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات.
سلام علیکم. شهادت مولای متقیان و همچنان شهدایی که در سراسر دنیا در این شب روزا به دست مظلومان، به دست ظالمان، به دست خونخواران به شهادت میرسند و شهادت همگیشان تسلیت برای کنید عرض میکنم. گرچه این شعر شهادت امام علی علیه السلام امروز امشب بعد از نماز صبح میشه، ولی این شعر با اون ربط دارن. مناجات علی از سوی نخلستان نمی آید. مناجات علی از سوی نخلستان نمی آید. صدای دلنشین شاه این سوجان نمی آید. به فرق مظهر حق و عدالت ضربتی خورده. بجای صوت قرآن چون شده کس خانه حیدر. نوای جز صدای ناله و افغان نمی آید. به فرق مظهر حق و عدالت ضربتی خورده که امید حیات از آن شه مردان نمی آید. علی در بستر مرگ است مشغول نماز امشب. علی در بستر مرگ است و مشغول نماز امشب. بگو خادم به مسجد خسرو و خوبان نمی آید. یتیمی دامن مادر گرفته اشک می ریزد. یتیمی دامن مادر گرفته اشک می ریزد که ای مادر چرا غمخوار ما طفلان نمی آید. به چشم تر بهزی بیچارگان سر می کشند امشب. به چشم تر بهزی بیچارگان سر می کشد امشب. که یارب از چه آن مولای درویشان نمی آید. حکیم از دیدن زخمی علی نومید گردیده. حکیم از دیدن زخم علی نومید گردیده. حسن را غیر یأس از گفته نعمان نمی آید. به وقت مرگ طالع تا نیاید بر سرم حیدر. به وقت مرگ طالع تا نیاید بر سرم حیدر. بیرون از این تن ناقابل من جان نمی آید. مناجات علی از سوی نخلستان نمی آید. صدای دلنشین شاه انس و جان نمی آید. صلوات بر محمد و آل.
Hello.
رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر کیا یاد علی کو آیا ہے بازار شام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر خون جاری تھا زخمی سر سے روتے تھے نمازی صف میں کھڑے کس طرح حسن نے رو رو کر کی فجر تمام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی زخمی پہلو جب یاد آیا زخمی پیشانی بھول گیا زہرا کی مصیبت پر رویا مظلوم امام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی یہ پہلی فجر ہے زینب کی سجدے میں سکون ملتا ہی نہیں دل ڈوبتا ہے آتا ہی نہیں ایک پل آرام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی اس غیرت دار کی غربت پر روتی ہے علی کی غربت بھی اس غیرت دار کی غربت پر روتی ہے علی کی غربت بھی 40 برس جو کہتا رہا الشام الشام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی شبیر کی جانب سے اکبر قاتل کو پلایا تھا شربت جب یاد علی کو آیا تھا ایک تشنا کام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر صلوات
بکا کے یہ روز ہیں، سادات پر نزول بلا کے یہ روز ہے، سرتاج آسیا کی عزا کے یہ روز ہے، تم سے وداع شیر خدا کے یہ روز، تم سے وداع شیر خدا کے یہ روز، زخمی ہوا ایمان تمہارا نماز میں، ظالم نے روزے دار کو مارا، ظالم نے روزے دار کو ظالم نے روزے دار کو مارا نماز، سر پیٹو مومنو سرے حیدر ہوا دو نیم، ایما کے برج کا مہ انور ہوا دو نیم، سوچو تو فرق شاہ کا کیوں کر ہوا دو نیم، لکھا ہے مغز تر سر اتر، لکھا ہے مغز تر سر اتر دو نیم، زہران بال کھول نہ بینا گے سر ہوئے، تم بے امام اور حسن بے بی، تم بے امام اور حسن، تم بے امام اور حسن لکھا ہے جب دو نیم ہوا فرق مرتضی، سدرے سے جبرائیل کے رونے کا غول اٹھا، پھینکی سروں سے زینب و کلثوم نے ردا، چلا کے بھائیوں کو پکاری، چلا کے بھائیوں کو پکاری غزا، سنتے ہو جبرائیل نے اس وقت کیا کہا، وہ بولے پیٹ کر قتل المرتضی، دوڑے یہ کہہ کے جانب مسجد و نیک ذات، ڈوبی ہوئی لہو میں ملی کشتی نجات، ماتھے پخون باپ کا مل کر کہی یہ بات، ہائے ہائے اٹھایا قبلہ کا باپ، ہائے ہائے اٹھایا قبلہ کا باپ، اس نے رلوایا نانا جان کو دارس سلام میں، بن باپ کا کیا ہمیں ماہ سیاہ، بن باپ کا کیا ہمیں ماہ میں، ناگا نمازیوں کا گرو آیا ننگے ساتھ، حیدر نے مصطفیٰ سے کہا کہ کھول کر پڑھواؤ تم نماز، جماعت کی ہے پسر، ہم بیٹھے بیٹھے پڑھتے ہیں اپنے مقام، ہم بیٹھے بیٹھے پڑھتے ہیں اپنے مقام، لیکن جبھی کے زخم پر رومال باندھو، میرا سر شگافتہ لال باندھو، باندھا حسن نے زخم سر شاہ ذوالجلال، بولے علی کی اور کسو درد ہے کمال، شبان نے جب کسا تو کیا پھر وہی مخال، پھر چست باندھ کر یہ پکارا وہ کو، پھر چست باندھ کر یہ پکارا وہ کو، اب درد کیسا ہے اسد جلال ہے، ہاتھوں سے سر پکڑ کے کہا وہی، ہاتھوں سے سر پکڑ کے کہا وہی پڑھوا کے پھر نماز، جماعت کی مشتبہ بابا کے سر پہ پڑنے لگیا یہ شفا ناگا کہ یہ کسی عورت نے دین دا زہرا کے پیار تم سے زینب نے ہے زہرا کے پیار تم سے زینب نے ہے کہا بابا کو میرے جل جو گھر میں نہ لاؤ گے تو سربراہ نہ مجھ کو بھی مسجد میں تو سربراہ نہ مجھ کو بھی مسجد میں پاؤ گے بولے علی آواز ابھی سے بجا نہیں زینب سے کہہ دو کوفہ یہ کربلا زینب سے کہہ دو کوفہ یہ کربلا نہیں میں بے دیار و بے کسو بے آشنا نہیں شیعہ گرد نرغے اہل شیعہ گرد نرغے اہل جفا پردے سے ننگے سر تو ابھی کیوں نکلتی ہے کیا حلق پر حسین کے تلوار کیا حلق پر حسین کے تلوار چاہتی ہے ام البنی کو پایا جو صدمے میں مبتلا باہیں گلے میں ڈال کے عباس نے کہا اے اماں صدقہ دینے سے رد ہوتی ہے بلا بھائی حسن حسین بھائی حسن حسین زہرا کے دے روشن کرو جہان میں تم اپنے نام کو صدقہ اتارو شاہ نجف پر صدقہ اتارو شاہ نجف پر غلام بولے علی تو ہوش میں اے نوحہ گر نہیں عباس کے وقار کی تجھ کو عباس کے وقار کی تجھ کو خبر نہیں یہ فاطمہ کا بیٹا ہے تیرا پسر نہیں شبیر کے لیے کوئی ایسے شبیر کے لیے کوئی ایسا سپاہ زہرا سے رتبہ پوچھے سنو رعین کا یہ کربلا میں ہوئے گا فدیہ یہ کربلا میں ہوئے گا فدیہ یہ کربلا میں ہوئے گا فدیہ حسین کا
فاتحہ بسم اللہ الرحمن اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم الحمد للہ رب العالمین الحمد للہ الذی لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي لا يدركه بعد الحمم ولا يناله غوث الفتن الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نات موجود ولا وقت معدود ولا أجل ممدود فَتَرَى الْخَلَائِقَ بِقُدْرَتِهِ ونشر الرياح برحمته. اللهم عف صلة سلواتك وسلامة تسليماتك على أول التعينات المفاضة من العماء رباني، وآخر التنزلات المضافة إلى نوع الإنساني. كان الله ولم يكن معه شيء ثاني، محصي لعوالم حضرات الخمس في وجوده، وكل شيء أحسيناه في إمام المبين. الرسول النبي المكي المدني الخرشي التحامي، صاحب لواء الحمد ومقام المحمود أبي القاسم محمد الحميد. وعلى أخيه وابن عمه وسحره وخليفته من بعده وقائد الغر المحجلين ياسوب الدين إمام المتقين أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب، وعلى ابنته الطاهرة الحوراء العنسية الراضية المرضية الشفية يوم الجزاء فاطمة الزهراء سلام الله عليها، وعلى سبتي الرحمة وسيدا شباب أهل الجنة الحسن والحسين. اللهم صل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي وحجة القائم المنتظر المهدي. حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك، اللهم سهل منهجهم وعجل في فرجهم، وجعلنا من محبيهم ومواليهم وشيعتهم، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن الناس من يشري نفسه ابتغاء مرضات الله والله رؤوف بالعباد. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات على محمد وعلى آله. I begin in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. We thank Allah for His continuous mercy and continuous blessings, especially in this holy month. And tonight we are commemorating the martyrdom of the Wasi of Rasulullah, the inheritor of prophetic knowledge, and who was called by the Prophet Siddiq Akbar and Farooq Azam, who is the sole inheritor of the pure and authentic Sunnah of Rasulullah, who was pointed by the Holy Prophet as his successor on the day of Ghadir, and whose family was named as Ahl al-Bayt by Rasulullah, at whose doorstep the Prophet of Allah went every day, paying his salutations, calling out Assalamu alayka ya Ahle Baytin Nubuwwa. The personality whose impeccable character, whose integrity, whose righteousness, whose uprightness was even testified by his enemies, by his opponents. One who had been the source of inspiration for centuries for the believers, one who is the source of attaining guidance towards the riza of Allah, towards the pleasure of Allah for the believers, one whose path is called by Rasulullah as Sirat Mustaqim, one whose direction was quoted as Haqq and truth by Rasulullah, whose aspirations of justice never subsided for the power of kingdom or power of Khilafah, whose aspirations for enabling justice in society costed him his life and the life of his whole family. But he stood steadfast on that path and had shown light to those who are following him till date. The verse of Holy Quran I started with, I have very little time. Tomorrow is a weeknight. But this night deserves some reflection, because we are not talking about none other than the one upon whom we are counting on the day of judgment to be our guardian, our Maula, the one whom we are counting at our deathbed to arrive to help us ease the pain of death, the one whom we are counting to come in our graves while we are fearful and traumatized by the darkness and the emptiness of the grave. If we are anticipating anyone, then it is none other than Maula Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. The verse of Holy Quran mentions وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرَضَاتِ اللَّهِ. Among people, there are those who sell themselves for attaining the riza of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are people who will give themselves up for attaining the riza of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu ra'ufun bil ibad. Allah is kind and compassionate to his servants. But amongst his servants, there are those who sell themselves to attain Allah's pleasure. And this verse was revealed in the praise of Maula Amirul Mu'mineen, when Amirul Mu'mineen stepped in the shoes of Rasulullah by sleeping in the bed of Rasulullah, while Rasulullah could leave Mecca and go to Medina, while there was an attempt of assassination of Rasulullah that night. And Jibreel informed Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, tonight is the night when Quraysh are planning to assassinate you, and you have to leave tonight to Medina and ensure that you go in the cover of the darkness of night while you have someone like you in your bed, such that the enemy would think all night that the Prophet is sleeping, only to be surprised that that is not the Prophet. Amir al-Mu'mineen is approached by the Holy Prophet, and the Holy Prophet says, Ya Ali, Allah's messenger, Allah's wahi has conveyed to me, tonight is the night that I have to leave, but I have to leave someone in my bed so that all night enemy could think that I am sleeping, and that time would be instrumental for me to travel towards Medina, such that the distance between the enemy and me would become farther, that the enemy would not be able to get to me. The only question Maula Amirul Mu'mineen asked is, Ya Rasulullah, if I sleep in your bed, will your life be saved? The Prophet warns Imam Ali, Ya Ali, whoever sleeps in my bed can die a fatal death by the assassination of the enemy. But Imam Ali is not asking, will I be saved? There is a means of cover to protect me. All Amirul Mu'mineen ask is, Ya Rasulullah, will your life be saved if I sleep in your bed, even if it means that I would be killed by your enemies? The Prophet of Allah says, of course, Ya Ali, it is the promise of Allah. Then Mawla Amirul Mu'mineen smiles. In fact, Mawla Amirul Mu'mineen that night had done sajda-e shukr, thanking Allah instantaneously that Allah has awarded him this opportunity that he could become a shaheed, he could become a martyr in the way of Allah, defending and protecting Rasulullah. And we find that the Rasulullah smiles and says, Ya Ali, Allah's promise shall come true. I will be saved and you will also be saved. And I want you to accompany my family and bring my family along with you on the way to Medina. My dear brothers and sisters, the Prophet of Allah never left an opportunity to identify the line of succession that Allah wants, and Allah had communicated this to Rasulullah, that who should succeed the Holy Prophet. And the Prophet of Allah, time and time again, pointed that person, and that was none other than Amirul Mu'mineen. And yet, the Ummah of Rasulullah became opportunistic and took advantage of the moment while the Prophet's body was lying and his body had turned cold because he had passed away, and believers or so-called Muslims, both amongst Ansar and Muhajirun, they are collecting in Saqifa Bani Saida to choose a leader of their own liking. So I'm trying to shrink. This is not my topic. My topic is we are in the forefront of a world which thrives on wars, which thrives on killing of the innocent people. And we all watch live images of all of this, and our souls have become so cold that we are not able to feel the plight of the oppressed people. And one war after the other war comes our way, and in all of these wars, if there is a blood that is being spilled, it is the blood of Muslims which is being spilled. Sometimes on a pretext of one thing, and then other times on a pretext of some other thing, only to conclude and only to come to a conclusion that it was all lies that were cooked up to legitimize this war. So likewise, we have precedent in the history of Islam, and I wanted to reflect upon those wars. The wars that were thrown upon Mawla Amirul Mu'mineen when he did not wanted those wars. But even before that, I want to start with this words of Rasulullah in which the Prophet of Allah says, Ya Ali, Anta Farisul Arab. O Ali, you are the knight, you are the bravest of Arab. Wa khatilun nakisin wal ma'riqin wal qasitin. And you are the slayer of nakisin. You are the slayer of nakisin and khasitin and mariqin. These are the three categories. You are the slayer of the naqisin, who are the breakers of bay'ah, oath breakers. And then you are the slayer of mariqin, who are the rebels. And then you are the slayer of qasitin, who are the unjust. These were the words of Rasulullah. Naqisin, mariqin, wa qasitin. If we look into the Khilafah of Maulana al-Mu'mineen, this is divided into three wars. One is the Battle of Jamal, then second is the Battle of Siffin, and then third is the Battle of Naharawan. In the Battle of Jamal, Amir al-Mu'mineen fought Naqisin, those who broke their allegiance, those who betrayed after pledging allegiance to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Mariqin are the rebellious ones who came in Siffin, and Khasitin are the Khawarij who came in Naharawan to fight Amir al-Mu'mineen. I was thinking I would cover each battle, but in the interest of time, I don't know if I will be able to do all of them. But tonight, Naqisin, I want to lay some foundation how the Battle of Jamal came into existence. It is very important to recognize the context. Khawateen, ladies, can I have few minutes? Can we have few minutes where we can reflect on the words of Ali Muhammad? Can I have some silence, please? After the lynching of the third Khalifa, the assassination of the third Khalifa, which was the result of a revolt that was undertaken by those who rebelled against him out of his unjust policies of favoritism, of siding and aligning and favoring a certain class of people, especially Bani Umayyah. When the Khalifa was assassinated, up to the third Khalifa, there was this mutual connection and approvals of who is going to be the next Khalifa. Although those who believe in this mutual agreement of becoming Khalifa do not recognize that the Prophet had the right to install and name his Khalifa. Allah has not declared who is going to succeed Rasulullah, and yet they had the ability to do so. However, that system also broke after the assassination of the third Khalifa. And now people did not knew whom to turn to, where to go and find the Khalifa. Bani Umayyah became very, very powerful, but they were in Sham. They were in Damascus. And the Muslim capital was Medina. And it was not possible to influence Medina by Bani Umayyah because people knew the character and the record of Bani Umayyah was ruthless, and one of the reasons of the assassination of the third Khalifa was Bani Umayyah itself. So there was no chance that Bani Umayyah could lead and become the front runners of Khilafah. Therefore, who else is going to be the Khalifa? There were other splinter groups who thought that they could be Khalifa. Amongst them were Talha, and there was Zubair, and then there was Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. These people were, but they did not have public support. They were amongst those who were bigger leaders, but they did not have public support. People did not gravitate towards them. They knew if they try to come into the forefront of the race for Khilafah, they will be thrown aside. They stood no chance in the presence of Amirul Mu'mineen. Amirul Mu'mineen, being the Khalifa, was the de facto understanding of the whole Ummah from the death of Rasulullah. But the Khilafah was not decided in public. Khilafah was decided in private. And then people were forced to embrace that Khilafah. Whereas at the time of Maulana Amirul Mu'mineen, people came publicly and demanded that we need Ali ibn Abi Talib to be the Khalifa. To the extent that the crowd overcrowded the house of Maulana Amirul Mu'mineen, that Amirul Mu'mineen says, I almost felt like my children, Hassan and Hussein, would be trampled because of the public and the stampede with the amount of people who were coming and pleading Amirul Mu'mineen to become the Khalifa. So they were few, like I said, who aspired but could not get to that position. What they did, they felt this is the time to side with the rising sun, to go on a winning side. So they came in the forefront and they pledged their allegiance. And two of the companions who were on the forefront was Talha and Zubair. Talha and Zubair, they came and they pledged allegiance to Amirul Mu'mineen. Like all the other people also pledged allegiance. And Amirul Mu'mineen, when he saw, in fact, Amirul Mu'mineen said, go and pick anyone you want. And I will not challenge that person. Even if support is required, I will support. But if you install me as your Khalifa, then my ruling principle is on the basis of justice. Then justice will prevail. And no one can back out from justice. People accepted Amirul Mu'mineen to be the Khalifa, and they were very happy. But there were others whose aspirations of doing this bay'ah that they broke later was not because they wanted him to be the Khalifa and they thought that he's the right leader. They had aspirations to get their share of the rule that Amirul Mu'mineen is doing. So Talha and Zubair came, assuming Amirul Mu'mineen is going to grant them the governorship of Basra and Kufa, two of the thriving states that Muslim world had. And when Amirul Mu'mineen was not doing it, they became vocal and they said, Ya Ali, we are the first ones who came to you. We were the ones who supported you. We were the ones who got you in this place. And now we want you to appoint us as governors. Amirul Mu'mineen said that I do not make appointments on the basis of what you're saying. Appointments would be based on the merit of that person. And I do not find that merit in you. And therefore, I'm not going to appoint you. So now they were stuck. They were here. They could not leave because Amirul Mu'mineen's Khilafah had been established. So they made an excuse. They said, we are going to Umrah. Ya Ali, can we just go to Umrah? And when they left, Imam Ali said, this Umrah is only a pretext. Going towards Mecca is a pretext. They are just going to deceive and rebel. History records all of this. Amirul Mu'mineen knew that these people are going to go and rebel against him. Now they want to legitimize their movement. They did not have any legitimacy. Now they were looking for those whom they can bring into this movement so they could legitimize
a rebellion against Amirul Mu'mineen. So what they did, they looked up to another person who had her issues with Amirul Mu'mineen, although she was totally against the third Khalifa, to the extent that she felt that he does not deserve to live. History records all of this. And she did not take any opportunity, she did not miss any opportunity of ensuring that she could incite violence against the third Khalifa. She happened to be the wife of the Holy Prophet. So they go to her. She did not like the third Khalifa, but the moment the third Khalifa was killed, and she comes to know that the Bani Umayyah, in a pretext of taking or persecuting or giving justice to the family of third Khalifa, started a movement in which they are demanding the Khalifa, which is Amirul Mu'mineen, to go about and bring about justice and catch the assassins of the third Khalifa. And the accusations are pointing towards Amirul Mu'mineen. When they go, she was in Mecca when this all happened, they go there and they convince her that you need to be on our side. And she agrees, because Ali was someone that she was not very happy with or friendly with. So this was the perfect match where they could get the legitimacy of having Ummul Mu'mineen on their side and then start this rebellion. So what did they do? They went to Basra. They went to Basra, and in Basra, Amirul Mu'mineen had a governor, Usman bin Hunayf, and they go, they attack the governor, they beat up the governor, they loot the Muslim treasury, and they start preparing themselves for a battle that they want to confront. When Amirul Mu'mineen came to know this, Amirul Mu'mineen tried to have a dialogue, to have negotiations, to ensure that this matter could be solved peacefully. This matter was not being solved peacefully at all. They mustered an army and they were attacking the Muslim army under the control and command of Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was the legitimate ruler, Khalifa, that was installed not by the virtue of one person telling the other person, but by the ijma and the whole majority of the ummah coming under the wilaya of Amirul Mu'mineen. Now there was no option. So Amirul Mu'mineen's legitimacy of being the Khalifa cannot be challenged, whereas these were naqisin. They were the ones who had broken the covenant. They had broken the bond of allegiance, of bay'ah that they had paid to Amirul Mu'mineen. And they musters an army, and Ali had no other option but to go and confront this enemy. And even when Amirul Mu'mineen went there, so now there are three groups. One group wants the qisas, wants the revenge for the blood of the third Khalifa, and that group is the group of Bani Umayyah. They are fomenting violence from one side, and now this is the another group that has come up, and they are all trying to unite to pull down or to decapitate the leadership of Islam that was under the mantle of the true successor of Rasulullah, and whose only objective and mission was to establish justice, which had been eroded over the years out of favoritism out of partibazi, they say in Farsi, out of favoritism to a group that created a class like an Epstein class we have now. So there was an Epstein class which did not want Ali to rule because Ali wanted justice. Even today's, you find that Epstein class does not want justice, does not want fairness. And they are willing to do anything and everything to control and bring that power back. So the army came, and Amirul Mu'mineen's army is also in Basra. Amirul Mu'mineen had no option but to go, because if there is a rebellion, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, فَخَاتِلُ الَّتِي تَبْغِي حَتَّى تَفِعَ إِلَىٰ أَمْرِ اللَّهِ. Then fight against the one who is rebellious, who creates a rebellion and oppresses until it returns to the obedience of Allah. So Ali had to follow the Quran and had to put off the rebellion that has come on his face. And in the battlefield also, he tried to persuade people. Now, when they were coming towards the battlefield, we find that there were incidents in history about which the Prophet of Allah had foretold in advance. The Prophet of Allah had told his wives, I deplore that wife who will rebel and who would come to a fountain, to a place where the dogs of Hawab will bark. And this was a known hadith. And when this wife of the Prophet was getting closer to the battlefield, there was an unusual barking of dogs that was never seen before. Everybody was upset. What's going on? Why are all these dogs barking unusually? So she is also there leading this battle. She inquires, where are we? Where did we reach? What place is this that we are? They say there is a waterfront, there's a water area. Ayyo ma'in haza. What is this water? Where are we here? Qalu ma'ul haw'ab. This place is called Ma'ul Haw'ab, the watering area of Haw'ab. The moment she hears this, she becomes very, very concerned. This is a very famous hadith of Rasulullah, and the Prophet of Allah had mentioned it to us. And that wife, he said, amongst you, the Prophet have addressed the wives of the Prophet and told, one of you are going to be there and you're not going to be on the right path. She becomes concerned and she says, no, I know, I have heard from the Prophet. All of this is narrated in the books of history. It is all there without any, thinking that it's written in Shia books. No, in the books of Muslim world from the brothers of Ahl Sunnah also. And she starts to decline moving another step in that direction. Because I have heard this from Rasulullah, and I do not want to be amongst that wife whom the Prophet of Allah had said, that the Prophet of Allah had deplored, and the Prophet of Allah had said that this is the person who's not going to be on the right path. I cannot move any further. But Talha and Zubair needed legitimacy, and that legitimacy which would be impactful. And that's why they were bringing the wife of the Holy Prophet into a battlefield. The Prophet never took any of his wives in any of the battles. And in this battle, they persuaded her to come, and she is coming. And if she walks away, then the morale of the fighters would go down, and even before the battle starts, they might lose this battle. So they cannot afford to let her go. So what did they do? Zubair and Talha, they got about 40 people, paid them off, and they said, swear in front of her that this is not the waterfront of Hawab. This is not that place. فَجَاءُوا بِخَمْسِينَ رَجُلًا مِنَ الْأَعْرَابِ. He brought 50 people from Arab. فَحَلَفُوا بِاللَّهِ, and they swore by Allah, that إِنَّ هَذَا لَيْسَ بِمَاءِ الْحَوَابِ, that this is not the waterfront of Hawab. We swear to you. Khamsin means 50. 50 people. All you need is 2 testimony. Now you have 50 people. What can you do? So she was convinced this is not Ma'ul Hawab, although she knew it in the beginning. What is all this showing? Creating consent. You see, in the world that we live in, for a war, those forces who want to oppress others, they try to go off and create consent and legitimacy. And this was all creation of that consent and legitimacy for this war. If she would have turned away, then she would not have been amongst that wife who was at the waterfront of Hawab. And this battle would fail even before it begins. But when this was shown to her, she continues the journey. And then we find that Amirul Mu'mineen addresses another companion of Rasulullah, Zubair. And he reminds Zubair also, Zubair, do you know what the Prophet of Allah had said to you? Do not let Muslimin fight with each other. Amirul Mu'mineen did not wanted this battle to be undertaken. Amirul Mu'mineen reminded the hadith that the Prophet of Allah had mentioned, and Zubair started trembling that, yes, Ya Ali, I have heard this. And Zubair turned around. He did not go, although there is a difference of opinion from here. And he was killed in that battle. However, he was killed by his own compatriots, not from the army of Amirul Mu'mineen. Because of this uncertainty that created in the heart of Zubair, and he was not sure if this thing should continue. So Zubair gone there. Then now the armies are facing each other, and at that point again, Amirul Mu'mineen calls out his army and he says, I want a volunteer who could take a copy of the Holy Quran and go towards the other side and invite them towards Quran. Invite them towards Quran. But let me tell you, when you are going to go and do that, you will be killed. I am foretelling you, whoever volunteers and come forward, he will be killed when he goes out there inviting Muslims to Quran to be their judge. There was a young man whose name was Muslim. He comes forward and then he invites. He raises Quran on one hand. His hand is cut off and Quran falls, and he takes the Quran in the other hand. Then that other hand is cut off. And then still he is calling out, and then arrows are shot at him. That is when Amirul Mu'mineen says that now the rebellion that Allah has commanded to be dealt with has begun, and there is no room for any reconciliation, and now the battle needs to start. And that is how the Battle of Siffin was started. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. I have more to say, but I'm concluding here, my dear brothers and sisters. So it was the intense desire of Maula Amirul Mu'mineen to install justice that had become scarce in Muslim world out of the personal interest of those who were the ruling class at that time. And on the night that we are in, you know, is the night of Zarba of Maula Amirul Mu'mineen. And there was istirab, there was uneasiness in Maula's behavior. He first went to the house of Kulthum for iftar, and he broke his iftar there. And when her father arrives for iftar, a daughter would like to serve the best. And Kulthum says that I had two bowls. One was a bowl of salt and the other was a bowl of milk that I offered in front of my father for iftar. You see how much iftar we ate. And this is Khalifatul Muslimin. And in front of him there is one bowl of milk, another bowl of salt. Amirul Mu'mineen says, "Oh my beloved daughter, do you not know that I do not consume more than one blessing of Allah, one ni'mah of Allah at a time?" Kulthum says, "I tried to pull the bowl of salt so that my father could drink some milk, but my father picked up milk and gave it to me and said, 'Take this away.' And he opened the iftar, he opened the fast with salt. And when the children offer him more food, we find that Maula Amirul Mu'mineen saying that I would like to meet my Lord while I am in the state of hunger and thirst." My dear brothers and sisters, this was the night when Maula Amirul Mu'mineen was getting out of the room and looking at the sky and saying, "Allahumma barik li fil maut." Oh Allah, bless me in maut, bless me in death. This was the night when Amirul Mu'mineen would ask Imam Hassan Mujtaba, "Oh my son Hassan, what night is it?" And he would say, "Baba, this is the night." And Amirul Mu'mineen reminds his son, "Oh Hassan, these were the nights while we were in the battle of Badr." And Imam reminded himself and went into the memory lane of the battle of Badr and started remembering the martyrs of Badr and then remembering and crying. And when Amirul Mu'mineen was asked, Amirul Mu'mineen would say that I am yearning to meet with my companions of Badr. And in fact, there is a narration that says that Amirul Mu'mineen had said that the martyrs of Badr came into the dream of Amirul Mu'mineen and said, "Ya Ali, we are awaiting your arrival eagerly, oh Ya Ali. We want you to join us, Ya Ali." This is the night that Ali ibn Abi Talib is being called by the martyrs of Badr. And also there is another narration in which the Prophet of Allah is seen by Amirul Mu'mineen, and Amirul Mu'mineen sees the dream in which the Prophet had come, and Amirul Mu'mineen complains, "Ya Rasulallah, your ummah is bothering me to the extent that I do not have a desire to be with them, Ya Rasulallah. Replace them with someone who are there like like and put me where I like, Ya Rasulullah. These were the nights, Ya Ali, and when Amirul Mu'mineen is heading towards the masjid, and the time of masjid came, Amirul Mu'mineen had a flock of ducks. These ducks were loved by Amirul Mu'mineen. They were presented to Amirul Mu'mineen. When these ducks realizes that Amirul Mu'mineen is leaving the house to go towards the masjid, the ducks are started to cry and holding on to the above Amirul Mu'mineen. Amirul Mu'mineen turns around to his son. Oh Hassan, if you can take care of these animals, then hold them with yourself. Otherwise, free them, oh Hassan. And Amirul Mu'mineen is heading towards the masjid. And he gets to a point where he's at the doorstep and the hinge of the door gets stuck into the Agha of Amirul Mu'mineen. And as if even the door, which is lifeless, is demanding and pleading, Ya Ali, to not go tonight to Masjid, Ya Ali. The enemy has conspired and waiting for you to come. Amirul Mu'mineen recites some couplet which shows that he is aware of the consequences, as looking forward to inviting himself to the death that will lead him to liqa'ullah, to meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Amirul Mu'mineen enters the masjid only to find this Mal'oon Ibn Muljim Muradi lying on his stomach, hiding the sword that he had drenched in the most expensive poison for 40 days and sharpened it for many, many days, and who was waiting for Ali to come. Amirul Mu'mineen awakens him and reminded him that the posture in which you are sleeping is that of shayateen. You should not be sleeping such a way. Amirul Mu'mineen is trying to ensure that this person reforms and revives himself, but he already had planned. He had conspired with Bani Umayyah, and Ashas ibn Khais had reported the timing in which Ali would come, and this was the moment that he was waiting for, and he was from amongst Khawarij. And when Amirul Mu'mineen goes into the mihrab and calls out Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, the people of Kufa realized that this is not the muazzin who would call out for azan on regular basis. This is the voice of Ali ibn Abi Talib. There should be a special occasion for which Ali ibn Abi Talib is calling out for azan. And the people of Kufa started coming into the masjid, and the masjid became full. And Ali ibn Abi Talib gets down from the mihrab and started his salat. Allahu Akbar. And the moment comes and the opportunity comes when Ali goes in the sajda. Ibn Muljim Muradi strikes the sword drenched in poison on the head of Ali ibn Abi Talib, on the same wound that Ali had gotten in the battle of Khandaq. And the moment Ali falls and starts bleeding, his beard is bleeding and the ground is bleeding, Ali is not calling out in pain, but Ali is rather declaring his victory when he says, Fusta wa Rabbil Kaaba, I swear by the Lord of Kaaba. Today Ali had become successful. None of the battles that Ali was victorious was the means of success, but dying in the hands of enemy in the masjid was the means of success. Ibn Muljim runs away, and the companions hold Amir al-Mu'mineen. Hasan Mushtaba is there. Some of them go to get Ibn Muljim, to catch Ibn Muljim. The time arrives when the heavens are crying. When this happened in masjid, we find the heavens started crying, and the heavens are calling out. فتهدمت والله أركان الهدى وانتمست أعلام التقى وانفصمت العروة الوثقى قتل الابن عم مصطفى قتل الوصي المصطفى قتل العلي المرتضى قتله أشقى الأشقياء. By Allah, the pillars of guidance have collapsed. The landmarks of piety have been obliterated. The firm handle, Urwatul Usqa, has been broken. The cousin of Mustafa, the Prophet of Allah, has been killed. The chosen successor and wasi of Mujtaba, Ali Murtaza, had been killed by the worst person on earth, Ibn Muljim Muradi. سيعلم الذين سلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Ya Allah, your Hujjah and the Wasi of your Rasul, who was martyred in masjid in the state of fasting to defend haqq, to defend truth, Ya Allah. We are so blessed and honored to have his progeny and his sons who are even till date ready to be in the state of fasting and to sacrifice their lives for the state of justice, Ya Allah. We want, Ya Allah, that by the wasila and the intercession of Ali ibn Abi Talib and his martyrdom, Ya Allah, defend them, protect them, and destroy their enemies, Ya Allah. We ask you, Allah, if the enemies of Islam are worthy of guidance, guide them, otherwise destroy them and humiliate them. We ask you, Allah, to protect life, honor, property, and dignity of believers wherever they are. We ask you, Allah, to cure those who are sick in our community. We ask you, Allah, to forgive those who have passed away from our community. We ask you, Allah, to hasten the reappearance of your Hujjah and make us such that your Hujjah will be pleased with us. Matam Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Agha Mujahizadeh, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Hussein, Shuma Ambiya, Hussein,
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. मोमिनो है दर करार का मातम कर लो, 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 मोमिनो है दर کرار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو ہاں محمد کے علم دار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر مومنو ہے در کرار کر لو خاکراؤ کے علی شیر خدا مارے گئے خاکراؤ کے علی شیر رہ گئے بازوئے احمد مختار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو جس کے در سے نہ گیا خالی سوالی کوئی جس کے در سے نہ گیا خالی سوال کوئی اس سخی ظالی بے کردار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے کرار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در او جو کہ پانچوں میں بھی ہے 12 اماموں میں بھی ہے جو کہ پانچوں سارے نبیوں کے مدد گار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو ہر ولی کہتا ہے یہ کر کے علی کا ماتم ہر ولی کہتا ہے یہ کر کے علی کا ماتم میرے آقا میرے سرکار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو مل کے جبریل کے اسے تاد کا پرسا دے دو مل کے جبریل کے استاد کا پرسا دے دو صاحب دل دولو تلوار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو منو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو اپنے قاتل کو دیا جس نے کہ جام شیری اپنے قاتل کو دیا جس نے کہ جام کوثری جام کے مختار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو کوفہ و کرب و بلا شام سے آتی ہے صدا کوفہ و کرب شام سے اجڑ سادات کے گلزار کا ماتم کر لو، مومنو ہے در کرار 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 کا ماتم کر لو، ہاں محمد کے علم دار کا ماتم کر لو، مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو، مومنو ہے در کرار کا ماتم کر لو۔
وہ عابد بیمار تھا، وہ عابد بیمار تھا، بازار تھا اور مصطفیٰ یا حسین یا حسین۔
السلام علیکم یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیکم یا حبیب اللہ، السلام علیکم یا امیر المؤمنین، السلام علیک یا فاطمة سیدت النساء العالمین، السلام علیکم یا حسن مجتبی، السلام علیکم یا ابا عبد اللہ، السلام علیکم یا ابن رسول اللہ، السلام علیکم ابو الفضل العباس یا ابن امیر المؤمنین وقاسم ابن حسن ومسلم ابن عقیل وحانی ابن عروہ وحبیب ابن مظاہر وحر شہید الریاح، السلام علیکم جميعا رحمت اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیکم یا غریب الغرباء، السلام علیکم یا معین الضعفاء والفقراء، السلام علیکم یا سلطان یا والحسن یا علی ابن موسیٰ ایھا الرضا، السلام علیکم ورحمت اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیکم یا صاحب العصر والزمان، علمان 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 خلیفۃ الرحمن امام الانس والجان شریک القرآن، عجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسحل اللہ تعالی مخرجک وظہورک، السلام علیکم جميعا رحمت اللہ وبرکاتہ۔
بسم اللہ الرحمن اللہم کل ولیک الحجة ابن حسین صلواتک علیہ وعلی آبائہ بحد ایسا فیہ ایسا ولیہ عابدہ حیدر وناصرہ ودلیلہ وعینہ حتی شعور زکاة وتمتعوا بها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. يا هادي لا هادي تعالى هادي.
try to recite Ziyarat-e Imam Hussain tonight. That's also one of the amal for Shab-e-Qadr night. Go home and recite the Ziyarat-e Warisa, inshallah. Hello.